Okay, let's see how long the GoPro will stay on now before it randomly shuts down, which is really annoying. Podcast app, because then I don't need to use an unofficial something and it just works. Where is my glasses? Not here.
You can check us out from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube and check us out as an audio-only podcast as well.
Thank you so much for watching.
God damn,
Next time,
I'm gonna go straight inside when I get home. I've been working outside the whole day in the sun, so
welcome. My name is Monty Martin.
my skin feels cooked.
This is our weekly Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign with the Dungeon Dudes, and I am running your game again this evening as Dungeon Master.
My name is Kelly McLaughlin, playing Wilhelm Wolfsbane, or Wilhelm von Kessel, the human swashbuckler rogue. We're joined today by our good friends.
Tilda Nettis playing Rudy Whitaker, the Shifter Eldritch Knight.
And Joe Gorman playing Wrath, the Aasimar Warlock.
Thank you for joining us again. As we
Only 2
embark
days
on
or 1 day
season
left
3
until
of
the
our
air show.
campaign. If you are just joining in for the very first time, you have a lot of catching up to do.
Bus is here as well.
As this new
narrow
season of our
street.
show is a direct continuation of both seasons 1 and seasons 2, Dungeons of Dragonheim and Shadows of Dragonheim, where our player characters, Jill, Kelly, and Joe, will be playing both their characters from the previous 2 seasons in varying combinations. So if you haven't checked out the previous 2 seasons, I actually highly recommend you go back, give those a watch. But we'll do our best if you do want to dive in now to bring you up to speed on the story so far. But with all of that, you can also check out all of our other videos over on YouTube, youtube.com/dungeondudes.
And you can join us on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. for the time being at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube or check us out as an audio-only podcast on your favorite podcasting platforms.
So with that, let us dive in to the Fate of Dragon.
Dragonheim is no more. The devastation which fell upon that accursed place left a kingdom in ruin. Now, horrors lurking in the haze grow ever more great and terrible, while simmering tensions between rival
I
factions
moved my
boil
second
over
phone so it's easier to see chat.
the power of monarchs, mages, and priests hangs in the balance. 6 unlikely heroes join forces to confront coming chaos. They shall decide once and for all the fate of Dragonheim.
Welcome back to Dragonheim. the Drakenheim is in a state of disarray, having been abandoned by the Hooded Lanterns and their soldiers several months ago when, during a catastrophic rise of rattling hordes through the city streets, though the heroes were so close to claiming Castle Draken, the Hooded Lanterns and their forces have been scouting the ruins of the city, looking for a new inroads to find an opportunity back in. Meanwhile, through the discoveries of both Veo, Sebastian, and Pluto, as well as Rudy, Wilhelm, and Wrath, our heroes have discovered the apocalyptic fate awaiting them as the threat of delirium grows deep within the crater. Caught between the bubbling war as the Illyrian army led by the Silver Order marches towards Drakenheim, our heroes have come together with a desperate plan to try to defend the city and find a way forward. In a great meeting that was held between our heroes and the leaders of the Hooded Lanterns, the Amethyst Academy, it was decided that they would try to crown a new king of Westmar once again. This king would be none other than Wilhelm Wolfsbane, actually Wilhelm von Kessel. Many obstacles lie in your path, as Elias Drexel, the gruff, bearded commander of the former Lord Commander of the Hooded Lanterns, now acting as lieutenant to the new Lord Commander Veo Senya, outlines that many things will have to be done to get Wilhelm on the throne of Drakenheim. First of which is actually getting into Castle Draken again. No small task, as the castle, though Drakenforce briefly stormed it, it is now once again a haven for monsters under the control of no one. Though the father of Veo Senya still is trapped within, barely containing the powers that bubble underneath the castle. Meanwhile, if Wilhelm is to be crowned in Castle Draken to fully take control of the power of the throne of Castle Draken, as well as the crown of Westmar itself, our heroes will need the seals of Westmar brought together in one place, and the council assigned once more. Now, previously, our heroes in Drakenforce did assemble all of these artifacts. However, one of these pieces is now no longer in your hands. The High Flamekeeper's phylactery, or the phylactery of St. Vitruvium, as this was entrusted to Lucretia Matthias following the debacle in Castle Draken. Similarly, Eldrick Runeweaver does currently possess the inscrutable staff of the Amethyst Academy, but fortunately, he's on your side in all this. Thus, with the need to bring all these artifacts together in one place, it has been decided that Drakenforce will go forth to treat with Lucretia Matthias and hopefully get her to give that back. But we'll come to that in just a little while. For first we go to Camp Dawn, where another plan is in motion. If Castle Draken is to be invaded once again, some staging ground in the city will be needed. And through these discussions, an objective has been pinpointed, as the former barracks of the Hooded Lanterns, abandoned when the city was overrun, still is there for the taking once more. So as we venture into Camp Dawn, in the command tent, Elias Drexel stands with Wilhelm, Rudy, and Wrath. How are our three three heroes looking?
Wilhelm is exhausted. It's been a very long road to get here, and I think that Wilhelm, I feel like it's only been days since he was in his home of Kesselholm, where he had to deal with what had happened there, and then coming straight to Drakenheim to be told that he needs to take the throne as soon as possible. The weight on Wilhelm's shoulders is very heavy in this moment, and he's doing his best to remain poised and confident, but the weight is getting to him, and he hasn't been sleeping well these past few days as he tries to come to terms with the position of a leader that he hopes he's suited for.
Well, having recently leveled up to level 10, on that note, what did you gain from getting to level 10 with Wilhelm?
Wilhelm has become a very inspiring leader. Or at least he hopes to be. So
His
I
words.
took the feat. Yeah. I took the feat inspiring leader because I feel like in the coming times, Wilhelm's going to be giving a lot of speeches to rally the troops and rally his friends and comrades to his side. So I thought inspiring leader was a good pickup.
Rudy.
So Rudy she's feeling a bit heavy. Like there's a lot of tension in the air. Not tension between the characters, but tension as in they're on to their next part of their journey, and it's going to be a big one. She knows that there's going to be a lot at stake. She's kind of missing her family right now. Hasn't spoken to them in a bit, and knows that with all that's coming, she doesn't know when the next chance is that she's going to see them again. But she is prepared to help Wilhelm shoulder this burden and be there by his side as we take the next step to get him towards his rightful place on the throne. She's also hungry. She's like ready for a good meal, to sit down and just hang out with the hooded lanterns and find out kind of what their journey's been like as well, and to make some friends while she's here.
And Wrath?
Wrath is staring off into the distance, which is the only place he knows how to look. It's this, he always seeks the knowledge that Bruce gives him, and now that he's been confronted with so much, it's starting to dawn on him, the gravity. But there's a smile on his face. It's quite peaceful. This is nice. And he's stroking the cat, like he forgets that he's not holding Bruce, and so he's just petting the air for a moment, and then he then he realizes that Bruce is over eating table scraps, and then just sort of snaps back in and sort of becomes another person in the room.
Nice. Well, the three of you are gathered in the command tent of Camp Dawn. This makeshift encampment surrounded by a high wooden palisade wall with rows upon rows of canvas tents surrounding a sort of central makeshift courtyard where the command tent lies. Here in front of a large table are all manner of maps of Drakenheim, of Westamar, of various buildings in the city, even maps of Castle Draken. And Elias Drexel paces about with his long brown hair and scraggly beard, thick scraggy beard, always with this dour look on his face and a furrowed brow. And he looks up at Wilhelm and he says, "The Lord Commander and Pluto and their friends But you're going to have some decisions to make very soon. You're going to have to decide who is going to remain on the council and who you're going to nominate to fill the other the positions.
It's a big decision, Elias, and I've been thinking about this. And when do I need to make these decisions? It's a large decision to make, and I'm wondering if you would have any guidance for me on how I might. I know Rudy and I know Wrath, and you and I have now fought together side by side in battle, and so I know you, and I would like to say I know River as well, but there are other people involved here that I am still getting to know, and I do not yet know where their loyalties lie, or how strong they are in situations, and I need to evaluate that before I go electing who's going to hold the badges of Westmar.
It is a significant decision. Let me break it down for you. There are 6 posts on the small council of Westmar. The Lord Commander, the Steward, the Spy Master, the Chancellor, the Archmage, and the High Flame Keeper. Now, traditionally, the Academy Directorate appoints their representative as the Archmage. This is not a position that you will get to choose. And traditionally, as well, the Divine Matriarch in Lumen appoints the High Flame Keeper. The situation being what it is, we might have to make do with a temporary assignment. As for the others, the other 4 positions, the Lord Commander is currently been given to Veo Senya. This is a bit of an unorthodox choice, as Veo, though a capable warrior, is not a commander, and the role of Lord Commander is that of the Supreme General of all of the forces of Westmar. While Veo is a capable warrior, and I know that it was my position, I worry that long term, I don't know if she has the mind for strategy.
Well, it's my understanding that the Lord Commander's position, since it's fallen to Veo Senya, it seems the Hooded Lanterns have lost their foothold in the city. And I'm pretty sure the budget for food has gone up, while efforts to make a stand and regain our footing in the city has been non-existent.
I'll leave the decision ultimately in your hands. There are many who could fulfill the position. The Steward is another important role. Originally, this was actually held by Veo's father, and we had given some temporary assignments previously. The Steward is responsible for managing both your household and many other domestic affairs of state. You should choose someone who you trust very intimately, and someone who has a good handle on logistics, organization, and who you would trust with your most personal and private matters. The Spy Master is your eyes and ears in the world at large. I don't know what happened to our last Spy Master, and I don't know how the Queen of Thieves came into possession of the Spy Master's signet. Unfortunately, we do have it back. Whoever your Spy Master is someone who you will want to control your information for you and get you all the information that you will need about both your enemies and your allies. Finally, there is your Chancellor. This is someone who will be your representative in the affairs with the other nations of the continent. Caspia and Illyria, but also the Vales, the Free City, and other nations of faraway lands. You'll want someone who is a good diplomat here. Now, you might be tempted, Wilhelm, to choose people that you know, for these positions. And in the short term, it might behoove you to make a provisional assignment just so that we can get you on the throne. But in the future, you may want to consider very carefully the dukes and duchesses of Westamar at large for these positions, as assigning a powerful vassal of the kingdom to one of these roles can be a good way of securing their loyalty and their military. For now, I leave it up to you to decide. Veo, Sebastian, and Pluto have gone to make sure that we have access, at least, to the High Flame Keeper's phylactery. What they're going to do, I don't know. We'll see.
Very well, this is a lot to think about, but is there anything that we can do in the interim to help with the situation?
Well, quite simply, we need to act. The Illyrians are getting close. And
well, I'm gonna go to
Camp
the
Dawn,
shop
to
now
be
to
perfectly
get
honest, is
some food
indefensible
for
against
today.
the army. If we're going to get to Castle Draken and we're going to use the castle for anything, we need to get the barracks back.
The way I see it, this should have been the first order of business as soon as it was lost. I think we need a foothold here in the city. If I have a say in this, I would say that that's one of the most important things we need right now. It's my understanding the city is overrun with these rat creatures. I think I met them in Transmund. Wrath has some intimate experience with them. So
I am one with the rat folk.
yes, he is. He was terrifying.
Well, our ranks have been recently bolstered by these Steel Fangs that you've recruited. We definitely have the manpower. We could launch an assault and go for it.
Well, see you guys later for some War Thunder and World of Warcraft.